Everyone, I'm Mega Man 6564, and welcome back to Ace Attorney. The last episode, we went back to investigating. Today's episode, it's Game 2 between Wright and Von Karma. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, prosecution is also ready. Von Karma, your opening statement. Very well, no opening statement. Not so fast, Judge. I was taking a meaningful pause before speaking. Right, of course. A prediction. Today's trial will end 3 minutes from now. Order, order. Mr. Von Karma, what is the meaning of your statement just now? Bah, must you question everything? It will be over in 3 minutes. We have no time to waste. I'll call my witness now. Right. I call my witness, my decisive witness to the stand. The mysterious boat shop owner. Witness, state your profession. I'm the proprietor of the restaurant, the Wet Noodle at Gourd Lake. And I also rent boats. The night of the incident, you were in the boat rental shop, correct? Yep, I was. Please testify. Wait a second. We still haven't heard of who this guy is. Objection. What's his name? Because I did not ask him, Mr. Wright. Bah. I've predicted this trial will end in 3 minutes. Stop asking trivial questions and cooperate. Witness will state his name. Not really sure. What do you mean, my memory? Your Honor, the witness does not remember anything beyond the last several years. Ergo, he cannot recall his own name. Yes, but the incident in question took place 3 days ago. He can testify. Very well, let's hear his testimony. The night of the murder. It was the night of the 24th, just after midnight. Yep. I was in the restaurant where I am renting boats as usual. Then I heard a bang. Yup. When I looked out the window, saw a boat just floating on the lake. Then I heard another bang. Just about then, the boat comes back to shore. A man walks by my window. Very well. I'd like to begin the cross-examination. There is nothing to question in my witness's testimony. Ergo, no need for cross-examination. Besides, there are only 10 seconds left before our 3 minutes are up. Judge, your verdict now. Yes, Mr. Wright. I'm cross-examining him. What are you saying? Of course I'll cross-examine the witness. Very well, you may begin. Rah! Looks like he just suffered a heart attack. Mr. Von Karma. 3 minutes just passed. I see. Well done, let's just take our time. You may cross-examine the witness. What was that, Von Karma, about your 3 minutes? You should have made it more like 3 hours. Okay. The restaurant. Bang. Saw a boat. Heard another bang. Boat comes back and a man. Who's the man? By my window, right outside the window of my little shack. And could you see the man's face? Well, the fog was pretty darn thick, but he was right there in front of me. Saw him. Rather important, please add it. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I have a bad feeling about this. Man was the defendant. He was saying, I can't believe he's dead. Ah, ha ha. Are you sure? Dad. Dead certain, Keith. He said, I can't believe he's dead as he was walking by too. Witness, are you sure that person you saw was Miles Edgeworth? It was him, that Edgeworth boy. And he's done. This sounds like decisive evidence indeed. I see no room for doubt. Von Karma. He lured me into cross-examining so he could set me up for a fall. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Nick, I don't like the way things are going here. Everyone in the courtroom is glaring at us. I better act quick or this is gonna be over. Well, we can't really raise an objection. We don't have any proof. How can I raise an objection without any proof? Yeah. Judge, there is no room for doubt in the witness's testimony. I demand that you declare your verdict. The judge is lost in thought. What should I do? Nothing we can do. There's no room to raise an objection. Nick, we have to do something. If we stay quiet now, Edgeworth will be found guilty. It's no good. There's nothing I can do. Are you sure? To be honest, I don't know what to do anymore. Can you hear me, sis? Please? We need your help. Nick needs you. Tisk, tisk, tisk. 3 minutes was perhaps too high in expectation. However, 15 minutes isn't bad. This must be a new record. Enough. Witness may leave the stand. He's sleeping. It's okay. This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial, nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. The case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. What? No. The court finds the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, guilty. The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at a higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. The court is adjourned. Damn. Wait! Who was that just now? Me? Huh? What? Larry? Oh my swirls. What are you doing here? Listen. You gotta listen to me. Alright, I was there in the park the night of the murder. I wasn't sure about it until just yesterday, but today I remembered it. Remembered what? The gunshot. I heard it too. Order. What is the meaning of this? The verdict has been decided. I call for adjournment. One moment, Mr. Von Karma. So you say you heard a gunshot? Yeah, I did. A gunshot that night. I was sitting here in the audience listening to the testimony. Then I realized something he said was different from what I remember. Anyhow, I can't just sit here and let you call Edgy a murderer. It's just not right. I'll testify. Let me testify. Order, order. Well, this is the first time something has happened like this. I'm not quite sure how to proceed. Judge, you've already given your decision. The trial is over. Nick, this is it. Larry's given us one final chance. If only it wasn't Larry. He could make things worse. Edgeworth was just declared Nick guilty. Doesn't get any worse. You're right. Okay. Your Honor, if there is another witness, it is our duty to hear him speak. Right here, right now. A waste of time. The verdict cannot be overturned. Allow me to speak my opinion. In all court proceedings, it is our duty to prevent an inaccurate verdict. In order to make sure no mistake has been made, every witness should be heard. What is this? I withdraw my previous verdict of guilty. Mr. Von Karma, I order you to call this new witness to testify now. What? The court will adjourn for a 5-minute recess. After that, we will hear this new witness. Court is adjourned. Oh my swirls. That was too close. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat like that, Edgeworth. I've seen worse. You're sweating bullets. I just wonder what Larry plans to say in there. Larry was at the lake that night, yeah. He said he went looking for the steel samurai that flew into the lake. And he found the balloon in the air tank that night. Edgeworth? You say something? Yeah, a lot of things. You seem out of it. What's wrong? It's nothing. Edgeworth, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. What's that? Why are your fingerprints on the murder weapon? Oh. When he fell into the lake, I went into a daze. I couldn't understand what had happened. I couldn't think straight. Then I saw the pistol lying on the floor of the boat in front of me. I picked it up without thinking. I didn't have a reason, really. I see. Right, yeah. This might be our chance. Our chance? Von Karma has only ever run perfect trials. Perfectly prepared witnesses, perfectly complete evidence. That's his secret to success. This is the first time he's ever had to deal with something unexpected. He's let someone he hasn't even talked to testify before the court, and that someone is Larry. What are you getting at? It's likely his testimony will be full of holes. No 10-minute trial this time. We'll milk this one for all it's worth. Hey, it was 15. 15! Everything depends on Larry now. Alright. Court is back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything you saw on the night of December 24th. Right, leave it to me. Larry, don't mess this up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. Alright, let's go. Witness testimony, night of the murder. That night, I was out on a boat. I was out in the lake on a boat. I was looking for something and I found it. So I quietly slipped the boat back at the rental shop, and just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't notice the boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. That was an unusually vague testimony even for this court. In any matter, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong, Nick? It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared. Well, we've come this far, no way to go but forward. Two gunshots. Okay, well. Let's notice the boat. So after I heard that single gunshot. Objection, Larry. Objection, Larry. Wait a sec. What? You only heard one bang, you're sure? That's what I said. But Lotta Hart testified yesterday she heard two. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard two gunshots. Huh? Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said? Yo, Nick, please. You know, something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. So you gotta treat me nice and stuff. Mr. Butts, what? You only heard one gunshot, are you sure? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. Not sure? How? How could you not be sure? Well, I might have missed the other gunshot. I was, listening to something else. Something else? My radio, dude. On my headphones. What? Order, and stop that booing. Mr. Butts, you were listening to a radio on earphones. Yeah, so what? What is that a crime? I listen to my radio. Everyone listens to radio. What's the big deal? Mr. Von Karma, your opinion. Waste of time. I do not accept this witness, nor his shoddy testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue the testimony? Absolutely, he should continue. Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony. Bah, nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost. Very well, Mr. Butts, please give your testimony and be sure to include details like your radio. Okay. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve, that's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio. I was listening to it real booming loud, but I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. You were listening to your radio at a high volume? Yeah, what's the big problem? Can't a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't this a free country? I believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is. Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drumbeat from the radio. True enough, it is difficult to believe this testimony. Wait, Your Honor. The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot. Excuse me? DJ? An announcer, the guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is when he heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness. Very well, Mr. Wright. Alright, well, we're gonna have to press his last statement then. Hold it. What did he say? Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could knowing what a radio DJ said do us? Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see some reason why we should care. Well, we should. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should. Why? Well, how do you know if we don't ask? Very well. Mr. Butts, please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot? Just when she said, hey, it's almost Christmas, I heard the gunshot. The gunshot, though, the murder was supposed to happen after midnight. That means someone had to have fired a gun before midnight. Yo. 2 gunshots just after midnight. Objection. Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? What's with that face? You look scary, dude. If you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easy. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor? Did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, hey, it's almost Christmas, when he heard the gunshot. Indeed, and almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. You realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. That would seem to be the case. But that contradicts the 2 testimonies we have heard so far, Your Honor. Both Miss Hart and the old man said it was after midnight when they heard the shots. In other words, when they heard the gunshots, it was already Christmas. This is a clear contradiction. Order, what does this mean? The 2 prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight, however, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious. What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butt's claim he heard the gunshot before midnight? Well, oh, here we go. Shows an empty lake taken at 11:50. Larry's right. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim? Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight. Take that. Look at this photograph. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. But there is nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in the photograph. It is why this photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Well, Your Honor, the photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50. This is why the photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely Christmas Eve. Indeed, it would seem that is the case. Then where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified she heard the gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken? Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night, there were 2 sets of gunshots, with a 25-minute pause between them. Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises, yeah? There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why? The witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera. Hey, my nose was clear that night. Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud noise was indeed a gunshot? Show the court evidence if you have any. Fired 3 times. Fired 3 times. This is my evidence. The murder weapon? Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. Order, order. That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 after midnight. Why? Why? Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes. Ah. What's wrong, Nick? I have it. Remember the case with the steel samurai? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya. If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edward's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch and I'm going to run with it. Right, I mean, is this safe? Safe, we've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. Just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy. Right, Nick? Your Honor? Yes, Mr. Wright? The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. What do you mean? Tisk, tisk, tisk. So you finally realized the truth? There can be no other murderer here than Edgeworth himself? Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, 1 boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant Edgeworth and the victim Hammond were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat and Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit it is hard to imagine any other possibility, yes. But this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 after midnight. What do you mean by that, Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 00:15. But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. Mr. Wright, are you mad? Explain who this is sitting on the boat. Murderer and Hammond, Edgeworth and the murderer, Edgeworth and Hammond. Edgeworth and the murderer. It was Edgeworth and the murderer after the murderer killed Hammond at 11:50. He assumed the guise of Hammond and met Edgeworth. What? Are you serious? Yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now Edgeworth didn't know Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murder took Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous! Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name? It's... I don't know. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't? Bah! Again you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of the crime was not in a boat? What? Well then, where did the murder take place? Oh boy, The boat shop. There we go. Take that. Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing. Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night he was out on the lake in a boat searching for something. He finds it and returns. Then just as he's starting to head home, he hears a shot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned the boat? The boat shop. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the beginning, and I take it slow, I might be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Hammond to his shop. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Hammond's coat, became Hammond, got in the boat with Edgeworth, and went out into the middle of the lake. Then who fired the pistol on the boat? Who fired the pistol on the boat? The caretaker. It was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yeah? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Details, details. Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. To create a witness. He shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Hart did exactly that. Next, the murderer waits a bit and fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice, to draw attention to where the boat. Once you realize that everything else falls into place, the boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. He put Hammond's wet coat back on the body and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly. Very well, while we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said. Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright had said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Several days ago I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him quickly. We cannot allow him to get away. Von Karma, your witness disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well, court is adjourned. Oh my. Yay, Nick, you did it. Yeah, well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. What about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right? There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now, and I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth? No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you to get it off my chest, but I can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder. Wow. Well, that'll do it for today's episode of Ace Attorney. Next time, it's more evidence gathering. Unfortunately. But yeah, no, so we have more evidence gathering. Then we have our trial. And, well, I think that should pretty much be it then for the case, because this is the last possible day tomorrow, so yeah, so next time on Ace Attorney, we're going back to getting evidence. Until then, I hope you've had a good time, and I'll see you all on the next episode. So until then, so long for now.